He's got the toys. He's got showmanship. And he's got sex appeal. Ladies and gentlemen, from the great Southwest, here's the guru of gadgets, the dapper and dashing Don Baine, the Gadget Professor. Gadget Professor.
Hello, everyone. This is Don Baine, the Gadget Professor, coming to you live from my home studio in Scottsdale, Arizona. I am fresh back from CES. Well, I guess it was a week ago today I got back, but I think I finally recovered. Man, that takes a lot out of you. If you're new to the Gadget Professor, welcome. I'm so happy to have you tuning in. If you saw us on CES, I hope that you enjoyed the presentation. And if you're an old fan of the Gadget Professor, of course, welcome back. The easiest way to watch the Gadget Professor is probably on iTunes, or just go to our website, www.thegadgetprofessor.com, and when you get to that website, actually you'll see a cool video that I just posted. It's on my Facebook page too, but if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see a rare time-lapse video of CES, and what I did is I had a small time-lapse camera, and I just set it in a set position and put it on the interview booth, if you will, the table, and that ran all day, and it condenses 8 hours into less than 2 minutes, so it's a pretty interesting video to watch, and of course there's no charge for that. If you'd like to email the Gadget Professor, you can do that 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at thegadgetprofessor@gmail.com. That would be thegadgetprofessor@gmail.com. Also, we have our Facebook page, and I'm finally updating that. You can see the time-lapse video on my Facebook page. That would be Facebook.com/Gadget Professor. We'd love to have you check our Facebook page out and hopefully like us. And I put all kinds of photographs up. I'm still putting some up of CES. It just gives you a little insight as to what goes on behind the scenes, and over the next week or so I'll be posting a lot of interviews that I actually did at CES, and that should be fun too. So we have an interesting show that comes up every Thursday evening, Arizona time, somewhere between, 7 and 11 o'clock. Depends when I can get to it. Usually I'm in the studio, but it is absolutely a madhouse there, and I have not been able to get any airtime this week whatsoever. So usually I bring the show to you from the studio, but for this week we gotta stay home and do the show here. So we have a ton, and I mean a ton, of apps, and I think interesting apps that you will want to put onto your smartphone, whether it's the iOS system or whether it's your Android. I have a couple, I think, very interesting apps. We also have a show today that I'm going to review the Martian watch. Basically, it's an interesting timepiece that connects via Bluetooth. I hope you can see some of that. It connects via Bluetooth to your smartphone. I'm using the iPhone 6 right now, and it does a lot of interesting things, and so in about 10-15 minutes or so we'll get to the review of this insanely talented Martian Notifier watch, so stay tuned for that. So let's get right into it today. I think rather than go into hacking news, which I always do, I'm going to give that a break. And what you're looking at here is a picture of the FCC chairman, Mr. Tom Wheeler. Not that I want to look at him, but whoops, we just dropped our light there. I think I bumped it. All right. What we're looking at is a picture of Tom Wheeler, as I said, the chairman of the FCC, and there's a lot of push this week especially for net neutrality, and if you don't know what that is, you really want to follow that, but actually President Obama has finally weighed in on it, saying that he's thinking of having the internet, because it's such a necessity, actually be classified as a utility, and that could be good and bad, but you really want to read this article about what the FCC is thinking with regards to the internet, and you're asking, why do I want to read that? Because it's going to affect you and how you use the internet. It's internet. It's going to affect the speed that you get. Perhaps you might have to pay for a higher speed or a higher bandwidth, and perhaps there'll be a situation where if you're streaming Netflix, it's going to be actually throttled, so you're not going to be able to do that as easily, or you're going to pay a premium for that. So this is what it's all about, and also the speed of the internet at which they can provide you, whether it's through fiber optic or whatever. They really want to increase the speed, as I feel it's a necessity, and a lot of people, a lot of your legislators are also starting to feel that it's a necessity. That said, whenever there's money involved, all kinds of things, crazy things happen, so you definitely want to keep an eye on that. All right, enough about that. Let's get into some free stuff. Everybody has a credit report, whether you know it or not. Your credit is reported to typically three agencies, probably more, but it's TransUnion, Equifax, and here's another one, Experian. But there's several credit agencies that keep track of what your credit is, and that's important because if you go for a loan, whether it's a school loan or to buy a home, whatever the case may be, you got to have a good credit score. And believe me, the people who are loaning you the money they do monitor that. So you want to get a credit report, and you don't want to pay for one. At least I don't want to pay for one. So if you go to annualcreditreport.com, it's totally free, and you can get your credit report, and you really do not have to pay for it. So check this page out. It's a free webpage, annualcreditreport.com. It will be in the show notes. And by the way, you want to subscribe to the show notes, just go on the gadgetprofessor.com on the right-hand side. You'll see where you can do that. And what the show notes are essentially is every Thursday evening, as soon as the episode is posted, you will receive in your email box for no charge all the things that we talked about in each episode. And actually, this page will be highlighted, so all you do is click it and you can get your free credit report, which I recommend that you do. Now, everybody's concerned about security, and I'm extra concerned about it this time of year because it's coming up to, it's tax season. So we all have till April 15th to do your taxes, and I had a friend of mine yesterday in a freako panic. Her system was hacked, and it's a nasty hack, so I had actually given her a fix-me stick, which will hopefully wipe out whatever her son put on there. But the point I'm going to make is that all your tax information now, if you're using a computer, which most of you are, on your laptop, your desktop, whatever the case may be, all that data is on your computer, which makes it hacking season right now, just like it's football season and Super Bowl season. Well, it's hacking season right now. Why? Because it's a great time to hack into someone's computer and put a rootkit on there and have access to all your financial data, your social security number, so on and so forth. So one of the ways to protect yourself, and I can't emphasize this enough, is to have a very strong, long, complicated password, which is easy to do because you can think of one, but remembering it a week from now is not going to be easy to do. So this is called IOBIT. It's iobit.com. Again, it will be in the show notes. And this is a random password generator. It's 100% secure, and you basically keep your data and your privacy private. So there's no more worries of passwords being cracked. It's customizable password generator that meets your needs. You have variables that you could set. It keeps your passwords organized without a password manager. So this actually is a password manager too. It's light, it's easy, and best of all, it works, and it's totally free. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time going into how it works and why it works. You can check that out for yourself. I have tested this out. It's very impressive. It's got all kinds of award, PC Magazine, CNET Editor's Choice, Windows 7, Softpedia. It's got quite a few awards. So it's faster, smarter, and much more secure and powerful. Advanced System Care 8 free. So definitely check that out, and now's a good time to check it out because, as I said, it's tax season. Now here's a freebie for you, and I can't guarantee that how long this will be free. I just don't know, but it is right now, January 15th. It is totally free. This is on Deal News, and if you go get the show notes, you'll have this in there. If not, go to Deal News and type in Sticky Password Premium 1-year subscription. Right now, it's being offered for free. So sticky password. There's my phone actually ringing, and I'm not going to answer it, but I am going to show you that the watch is actually telling me right now who's calling. So that's kind of neat. And I'll cancel that phone there. I'm sure it's going to ring again. Now, what's nice about the watch, I know we're getting out of sync here, but if I push the glass, it actually will bring up the message again. So just keep that in mind. And again, I don't know if you can see that. So, getting back to the podcast, the Sticky Password Premium is totally free right now. It's available for the Mac, Windows, iPad, and iPhone, and Android. So, you might as well pick up a free premium subscription for free, because I don't know why you wouldn't want it. I have done that. It works great, and I like it. And again, check it out right now, because I don't know how long it will be free. Here's another app that I highly recommend that you use. It will work on pretty much any browser, and it's called Privacy Badger, and this is totally free. And what this does is it blocks spying ads and invisible trackers. It's there to ensure that companies can't track your browsing without your consent. And it actually has 3 states, if you will, that you can check on. The extension basically ends up in the upper right-hand corner. You can see my desktop here, and right there is a Privacy Badger. There's 3 states. Red means that the Privacy Badger believes that this domain is a tracker, and it has it blocked. Yellow means that it's believed to be both a tracker and necessary for the page to function. So Privacy Badger is allowing it to go through. And green means that it's okay, that it's probably not tracking you. So you definitely want to check out the Privacy Badger app. You have the ability to disable it, and you can deactivate it, and so on and so forth. So check that out. Again, another app that you add, it's free onto almost any browser. It's called Bitdefender Traffic Light. And what this is you can use the traffic light to add very strong and totally non-intrusive layer of security when you're browsing. And what this does is it protects you against phishing attacks and malware. This is how my friend got in trouble, because she let her son play with the computer. He plays games and he downloads all kinds of crazy things, and they actually got some malware on it. But if they had this Bitdefender Traffic Light, they would have been okay. And again, this is totally free, and it shows why it works and how it works. And again, I would highly encourage you to at least look at it and perhaps consider putting it on your browser, whatever it is you may use. Now, everybody knows that the Gadget Professor is kind of a freak on security and also being prepared for emergencies. So here's a couple apps. These are all free that you may want to put on your smartphone. This one is called the Emergency Medical Center Locator, and this app helps you find specialized emergency medical care that is closest to you. So it actually uses the GPS and tracks down where the closest medical facilities are. And there are 6 specialty areas that this focuses on: trauma, stroke, eye, pediatric care, which is obviously very important, cardiac, and burns. So this is a very advanced type of app. It's totally free, and this will actually give you a map of where the particular facilities are that you're looking for. It's compatible with just about every smartphone that's out there. It's totally free, and I would encourage you to put it on your phone. You may not need it now, but you never know when you're going to need it, especially if you have kids with you and you need emergency pediatric care. This is a handy app to have. Now, again, I don't expect a disaster, but you never know what's going to happen. This one is put out by the American Red Cross. It's Shelter Finder Adapter. Now, you may not think you need this, but I myself typically try to get back to Narragansett, Rhode Island in the summertime, but many times in that area there's ferocious storms and you have to evacuate. I have never had to do that, but I have relatives that live in Texas, and they actually have had to evacuate, I think, 2 or 3 times, and it's been a nightmare. Now, what this app does is this actually shows you where the nearest Red Cross shelter would be, and it's constantly changing. So again, you might as well put these apps on your phone, even though you don't think you need them, because God forbid you do need them, at least you have them at your fingertips and you don't have to wonder what it was or how to get it. And last but not least, another important app that I do have on my phone, it's called iTriage. This is a free mobile app that lets you quickly and easily get medical answers, find care options, and securely maintain your health information. Again, it's totally free, and it deals with things like symptoms, doctors, facilities, conditions, medications, procedures, all kinds of things. It's quite robust, and it's totally free. It even will do a little bit of research on medical conditions for you. So definitely check this app out. I think you'll really like it. And now we're going to get to the gadget of the day. I've given you a little spattering of what it does, but this is called the Martian Notifier, and it does two things. Essentially, it is a wristwatch, which is not a big deal, and the battery will last supposedly for 2 years as far as the battery is concerned. And you can see that it's just a regular watch in terms of what it looks like. And again, I'm using a webcam, so I don't know how clear the face of this watch is going to come up. But there are 3 buttons, 1, 2, and 3. This button is essentially just used to set the analog clock, not a big deal. These 2 buttons will deal with the second phase of what this watch does, which is it's a digital watch which will give you it will give you visual indicators of who's calling, who's FaceTiming you, SMS messages, just a whole host of things, and we'll get through that in a second. It also tells you the weather, and it also has some cool things that are very functional. One of those things that I like is if you press the bottom button here, that's usually what triggers everything. This will actually tell you the time, and it will give you the weather and what the pending weather is, and you can program that to give you whatever weather you want, and that's kind of a neat feature. The other thing that this will do is if you push the glass surface of the watch, it will recall pretty much anything that's just come up, a message, the time, who's called, missed call, thing like that. So that's a good thing. And again, I apologize, I'm not in the studio, so I can't give you a very clear shot of what the watch looks like, but the message area is essentially down in this window right here. Hopefully you can see something there. And it just scrolls across. So if I'm getting a text message and I'm in a meeting or whatever, I can see the text messaging scrolling. Now, how do I know to look at the watch? Well, that's a good question. One of the things that this watch does, and I like, is it actually vibrates on your wrist. So if I am getting a phone call and my phone is on vibrate only, or I'm getting a text message or whatever the case may be, I can have different vibration patterns that actually vibrate on my wrist and let me know that someone's trying to get in touch with me, whether it's a phone call or whether it's a text message or Facebook, whatever the case may be. So it's very handy as far as that's concerned. Now, one of the reasons I like the watch is when I was at CES, for example, it's so noisy there, I cannot hear my phone ring. I just can't. And I don't want to keep my phone on my desk in front of me when I'm interviewing people because it's rude. So I have the watch on, and if someone's calling or a message is coming by, someone did text me that they had to cancel the interview, and I felt my wrist vibrate, and I can just glance down at the watch and see what the message is. So that's also a good thing. Now, there are other things that it does. I'm going to set one of them up right now. One of the things that it does that's kind of cool is that if you press the top button here, and I'm going to do that, what will happen is it will actually put the watch into Siri. So, where can I find the Gadget Professor?
Looking.
So
Here's what I found on the web for into Siri. So where can I find the Gadget Professor?
So it does work. Some people might say, why would you want to push this button when you have the phone in your hand anyway? And the answer is, I don't know. It's kind of a weird feature. It does work, but if I'm going to push the watch, I could just as easily push the Siri button on the phone. But that's one of the features. The other feature that it does have, and I do like, is find your phone, because I know the phone's in the house somewhere, but where I don't know. So I can click this watch to find phone. It actually says find phone, and I push this button. So hopefully you are somewhere within the vicinity in the house that you will hear it. If you are in a restaurant or you are in a place that it's noisy, it's pretty much a useless function because it's not that loud. The other thing that I don't like about it is it should repetitively continue that sound 3 or 4 times. So I'll do it again. So I'm just going to go to, I keep pushing here. It gives me a menu and it says find watch. So find watch, I push the button. So it does work, but again, how functional it is, I don't know. I wish it was a lot louder, especially for me, and I wish that it had continual sounds that it made so you can find the watch. But you could walk through the house pressing this, and it will continually do it. So that's another feature that it has. Another thing that it does, which is kind of neat and I do like, is what this will do is if you put this in the camera mode, again, I'm just pressing menus here. Right now it says camera mode, and if you go into your camera and I'll just look at the screen and push this button, what this will do is it will take the picture. Now, one of the tricks of using this watch is you've got to be quick, because the time it took me to push this into the camera mode watch, get my camera from my phone and set it up, was probably 3 seconds, if that, and it timed out. So when you push it, when you go into the camera mode, you literally got to be ready to roll. So it's camera mode, and now I click it, and it's activated, and it says activated on the watch. And now when I go into the camera, which I'm going to do now, and I look forward, and so I don't know if you heard that click, but it definitely took the picture for me, and that's kind of a neat feature. There's the photo that it took. So it does have some great functionality, and there are some things that I really like. There's some things that I don't really like. Another feature that's very good about the Martian watch is that it has a leash function on it. And what the leash function will do is actually, if you get 10 feet away from the watch without your phone, they're basically tethered together. So this will start vibrating like crazy, and it will say out of range, which means if you look at the watch, you realize that your phone is about 10 feet away from you because you've left it. So the tethering, if you will, to find the watch is an excellent feature. And I actually, when I was at CES, did manage to leave my phone on the control desk, and I was on the way to the men's room, and it started buzzing, and I'm glad that it did, because I went back and got my phone. And again, it's only a short distance. It's about 10 feet, and then this thing will start buzzing. Another thing that the watch does that I like is you can control the buzzing, the vibration. You can actually set this to vibrate like zzz, 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 or zzz, all those kinds of things. So depending upon who's calling or what's going on, whether it's a text message or a voicemail, whatever the case may be, you can actually set this up to elicit different types of vibrations on your wrist, which gives you more information about what kind of things are coming through the watch. So all that's pretty good. There is a light on it that works fairly well. It's a night light, so if you click this to light and push the button, the light actually comes on, and you can see the keys and things at night, and it's a pretty bright light. So again, I don't know if you can see the information coming across the screen. I'll hit it again there for you. It does work fairly well. I do have some issues with it. Is it the best watch that's out there for this type of functionality? No. The price is about $126. We'll actually go to the web page here. It's about $126. I think it's fairly priced for what it does, but I know for a fact, 'cause I saw them at CES, that there will be a lot more what we call wearables coming out in the next month or two. Apple's supposed to come out with one very soon, and that's going to be something to keep your eye on. Now, this has a list of the features. Here we go, feature sets. So I'm just going to quickly read through some of the features. Get notifications from thousands of apps. No SDK required. You will automatically receive notifications, including caller ID, text messages, email, calendar, social media, favorite games, bank alerts, news headlines, fitness stats, and many, many more. And this is just a small smattering of some of the things that this watch will actually notify you. Filter alerts. You can apply by filters and to allow only the notifications that are most important for you. So this watch does come with a free app that you would load on your phone, and the app itself gives you a variety of things menu-wise that you can turn on and off. You can enable the leash. That's the function that comes and goes as you're losing your phone. You can enable the LED so that you have the light. You can choose the date format, the scroll speed, the numbers. It goes on and on. I mean, there's tons of them. Today's weather, you can choose Fahrenheit, world clock, whatever you want. So there's a lot of applications, and then there's literally tons of different types of alerts that you can have turned on or off. If you don't use Facebook or Twitter or WhatsApp, you can turn them on or off. Instagram, Google+, Skype, Vine, WeChat, LinkedIn. There's tons, literally tons of apps. So, the watch is very robust. Here's a good picture of where that window is if you couldn't see it. And again, I don't know what you're seeing because I'm on a little webcam here, but that's where all the messages come up right in there. They do have a choice of colored straps. I just picked black because that essentially goes with everything. So, you can remotely control the camera, as I said. That's a good feature. Now, here's an interesting thing that occurred to me. They said the battery lasts up to 6 days. Well, CES was 4 days, and what I was finding is at the end of the day, this battery was fine. This battery was drained. I had like 5%. And I never had a problem. This is a pretty much brand new iPhone. I never had a problem with the battery lasting easily a day, even a day and a half. And I was pounding this phone at CES. But as soon as I hooked this up to the Bluetooth, the battery just drained pretty fast on that. It was pretty annoying. It was so annoying that I decided I'm probably going to return the watch because I don't want to be carrying, I have a charger with me, but, I expect to get a minimum of a full 10 hours out of this when it's connected to the watch. And the Bluetooth shouldn't put that much of a strain on the watch. So what I found out is you had 14 days. I ordered this directly from the company. You have 14 days to return it. And I was at 30 days, not quite 30 days, 20 days, and they will not take a return. However, they said if there's something wrong with the watch, they'd be very happy if I sent it in and they would fix it. So they asked me what the problem was, and I told them that it's draining my battery, and they said they were aware of that, and all I needed to do was upgrade the firmware. So upgrading the firmware was real simple. I went on their website, I downloaded a file, and I plugged the watch in, and it downloaded the new firmware, and I'm just today experimenting with this, but so far I've had this battery on since 8 o'clock this morning. It's roughly noontime here in Arizona, and I have 98% of my battery. So clearly the firmware upgrade has fixed this problem. Now, when you talk about battery life and how do you charge this, on the side of this watch, right here, and again, I don't know what you can see, but there's a piece of plastic that you basically pry out. And what that is it allows you to charge the phone. So I've pulled this, and again, I don't know if you can see it, but I'll move it closer to the camera. But there's a little piece of plastic there, and that just pries out very easily, and it locks in tightly. And in that, you put a simple USB cable. So the USB port will go into here. You're going to put that into a charger. Any USB charger will work fine. And you're going to put the other end of this into the watch so that you can charge it. And it does take a charge pretty quickly. And as I said, the watch always has stayed pretty well charged for me for at least 5 days, 6 days, no problem. Now, here's the interesting thing, and it drives me crazy. And, I get it and I don't get it. This has the typical Android plug, if you will, and you would think that the typical Android plug would work with this watch. It does not. This is a special cable designed for this watch, and if you lose this cable, you will be buying another one if you want the watch to charge. If you look at this carefully, you'll see that it is significantly almost double the length of a typical Android cable that you would use to charge pretty much anything today. It's almost double the length, and that really has to go deep inside the circuit in this watch. So unfortunately, when you travel and if you're going to be gone for a while, even if you're not gone for a while, you never want to be with this watch uncharged, so you have to bring this cable. I think that was a huge mistake. So in the end, the Martian Notifier does do what it says it does. Is it the best one out there? No. Would I recommend purchasing it? If you really want to get something that's going to get you through the crunch right now, if you want to spend about $126 thereabouts, I would buy one. That said, if you're not in a rush for one, I would absolutely, positively wait, because I know that the new watches that are coming out very soon will blow this away. End of story. Again, that said, it really does do everything that it says it will do. My chief complaint is that, at this point, I want my phone. I want to be able to scroll. I want to be able to have a big viewing area, which this does not have. This was essentially a demo unit that was sent to me, so I can't complain too much about it. But is it the best one out there? Heck no. Are there better ones coming? Heck yeah. So that kind of, I think, is a very good review, if I do say so myself, of the Martian Notifier. Certainly the people on the other end of the line, when you call them, answer immediately, and they'll bend over backwards to help you. But again, you have 14 days to keep the watch, or 14 days to return the watch if you're not thrilled with it. So I do like it. I do use it. It is functional. Probably when the Apple Watch comes out, I'll evaluate that, take a look at what the cost of it is and the functionality. I expect it to be significantly better. I think the charging cord will be standard, if you will. I think that the window will definitely be bigger. That's the biggest complaint I have about this, is that the vibration is great, and that's really what I need. But when you actually go to read the window in here, it's small. I can read it, but I wish it was a lot bigger. And certainly the new watches will be significantly bigger and probably take up the whole face of the watch. So that's going to wrap it up today for the Gadget Professor. I hope you enjoyed today's show, and I will see everybody next Thursday. So long from the Gadget Professor.
The Gadget Professor is produced by Don Baine,
Multimedia Communications, LLC.
If you would like your product reviewed on The Gadget Professor, or would like to appear on The Gadget Professor, contact us via email at thegadgetprofessor@gmail.com. The opinions expressed on the program by the host, guests, call-in listeners, or chatters are solely the opinions of the original source who expressed them. And thank you for watching The Gadget Professor.